The Road Accident Fund is committed to empowering South African youth by providing valuable learning and development opportunities through its internship and learnership programs. These initiatives are designed to equip participants with essential skills, practical experience, and industry exposure, helping them transition from academic life to professional careers. This episode aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the RAF's internship and learnership programs, including their structure, benefits, application process, and long-term impact. Whether you're a prospective applicant or simply interested in learning more about these opportunities, this episode will help you understand how the RAF supports skills development, employment readiness, and inclusivity in the South African workforce. With me today is Mrs. Thato Tshikomb, our skills development specialist at the Road Accident Fund. Welcome to the RAF podcast.
Thank you, Lesego. I'm happy to be here.
It is so good to have you here today. And I think, with the back to school season, people going back, applying, and those who are coming out of, universities and such, looking for opportunities. Now is the right time to look at, what opportunities are offered at the Road Accident Fund and how we contribute to society by equipping young people and prospective applicants to be ready for the workforce. So it is so good to have you here today. Before we get into it, can you tell me a little bit about what you do?
Thank you, Lesego. My role as a skills development specialist entails skills development facilitation. So in other words, we deal with implementing internship and learnership programs in conjunction with the SETAs. We ensure that graduates get work experience. We ensure that those who find it difficult to find employment are able to find employment. We improve their work readiness through these programs. We also go out in the public and we run career exhibitions. We contribute to career exhibitions. So we inform learners or students about our learnership programs and anything that has to do with making sure that people are employable in the end. Youth, rather, are employable in the end.
That's fantastic. Can you give me an overview of the RAF's learnership and internship programs?
Okay. Internship and learnership programs are structured programs. So with an internship program, we are looking at those with a post-matric qualification, those that are looking for work exposure on the job experience. They are enrolled into an internship program based on the qualification that they have. So for example, if you have done a marketing qualification, then you would go onto the marketing internship program, which is structured. We would take you through the whole department in terms of not only just the marketing section, so you will do social and digital media, you'll get exposure to going out on the campaigns, etc., etc. We also ensure that at the end you are work ready. So we don't just have interns there to make tea and run errands. We literally get you hands-on job experience. So when you leave, you are fully experienced to be able to apply for any job within that field.
Okay, so tell me, what are the objectives of these programs and how do they fit into the overall organizational mission?
Okay, the objective of the programs is to make sure that the youth are employed or employable at the end of the programs and that they get a whole rounded experience in terms of dealing with unemployment within the country. These programs assist with that. I also need to mention that the learnership program is for those that have a matric or grade 12 only, but don't have a post-matric qualification. So those on the learnership program are able to get a SEQA accredited qualification at the end of the program, and they also then get on-the-job experience as well.
So what are the key components of our learnership and internship programs?
On a learnership program, it's a matriculant who is probably, I would say, someone who's not sure what they want to study. Instead of taking a gap year, they would be enrolled in a learnership program, get into a workplace. They would get exposure to different departments or different careers within a professional work environment. They would then get a qualification For example, if they do a business admin qualification, that qualification has an element of marketing, an element of HR, an element of finance, an element of IT. From there, then they'll be able to at least know which channel they would rather go and study for, which qualification they want to study for in the end. So with a learnership, it's more somebody who's not yet studied a full qualification. And then for a internship program, as I've said, it's those that are graduates, they've got a qualification. On the programs, both the interns and the learners get to have a mentor. Okay, so we allocate a mentor at a ratio of 1:3. So one mentor to up to a maximum of 3 interns. That mentor then exposes them with on-the-job training, practical experience, work experience. And then for the learners, we get a learnership provider, an accredited learnership provider to come in-house to provide them with that qualification.
What type of training and practical experience can these participants expect to receive from the Road Accident Fund?
Okay, so we have internal training. I think those that know that the Road Accident Fund it's based on a legislation. Okay. So those that come in get the MVA training, we call it MVA. It's based on the RF Act, so how to settle and how to investigate merits, how to process a claim. So all those that come in go on to this internal MVA training. They get that. They get assessed. They can then also be given a certificate of competence once they complete the training. Secondly, those that already have a qualification, they can then go on to I could call it a training that is external, but is in line with their field. So, for example, if you need certification, let's say you're an IT graduate, you can also then get, for example, Microsoft certification, so we pay for something that will enhance your employability prospects.
Okay. You spoke a little bit about mentorship, and I want to know more about your mentorship and coaching opportunities that are available at the Road Accident Fund.
For the interns and learners, of course.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. As I've said, we do allocate a mentor to each intern and learner. So we allocate the mentor so that the mentor can then assist them with their regular day-to-day tasks. So they give them tasks, they help them to develop their professional skills. The mentor also takes after their well-being, if I can put it that way. So normally your mentor is your direct supervisor as an internal learner. So you get your coaching from them. If there's anything that's bothering you in terms of your personal life, they get to be the first ones to notice, pick up, and then refer you to employee wellness, for instance. They are the ones that will assist you to grow career-wise or professionally as well.
That's great. So what are the benefits of these programs?
Okay. So the benefits of the program for the country as a whole is skills development. I think we all know that as a country, Black people, especially females, were previously disadvantaged. So the country ended up having a lot of employed people, but those that had no skills, they were laborers. So the benefit of these programs for the country is skills development. So you end up with graduates that are skilled, not just having theory or head knowledge, but actual skills, on-the-job skills. The other benefit for the individual interns and learners is that they become more employable. So because they are given work readiness skills, they are developed professionally. They are developed in terms of emotional intelligence and anything that has to do with becoming more ethical in the workplace. They become more employable because they are work ready.
Yes.
For the learners, of course, they leave with a qualification, which they didn't have. They would come with just a matric.
Yes.
And then also they gain the work experience as well. As we also know, if you don't have work experience, it's also harder for you to enter the job market, to get an entry-level opportunity. So it increases their employability. Also, it provides for, I will say, basic youth unemployment needs. Yes. So when you're young, you need a certain income, at least, to be able to sustain yourself. So we give them a stipend when they're on these programs. They don't get a salary, they get a stipend. And the stipend is so that they can travel to the workplace to get the work exposure, have some lunch, and a bit of some income for them to sustain themselves while on the programs.
Okay, so how do you determine the stipend?
So the stipends are regulated. We run the programs through the CETAs, as I've said. So the CETAs provide a guideline to say, okay, this is the stipend that must be allocated for interns with disabilities and interns without disabilities. We then review it as an organization. If we are able, we increase the stipend.
Okay, and then how long do the programs normally run for?
Okay, the programs run for a period of 18 months. We used to have them for 12 months, and each year we would extended by 6 months. So it was only sensible to make sure that they are standard 18 months. So they run for 18 months.
What goes into preparing the mentors for, the arrival of the interns, inducting them, and, making sure that they have everything that they need so that they can get the most out of their experience?
Okay, so the mentors are allowed or given an opportunity to attend a formal mentorship and coaching training so that they are able to get the skills and understand what goes into mentoring and coaching an intern or a learner. If the mentor doesn't know what to do at all, we have briefing sessions with the mentors. We take them through the structure of the program. We explain to them what is the role of a mentor on the job. Okay, so for example, we have even templates that we use. You have a mentorship session agreement where the mentor and the mentee sign an agreement to say this is how often we will meet, this is what we will discuss, this is what we will do, etc., etc. The mentor makes commitments to the mentee, and the mentee also commits to the mentor in the department.
You do not allow interns into that department unless they are ready to receive them.
Yes, okay. First of all, as a learning and development department, we don't allow recruitment of interns and learners prior to the department confirming that they are ready. So this readiness includes the department submitting a work exposure program for each intern and learner. So they need to say on that work exposure program, what is it that they're going to expose the intern and learner to? What is it that they are going to do practically on the job? Example, how many months they'll be doing this, how many months they'll be doing that. Within it should be a rotation plan built in. Okay, so that they get holistic exposure, what we call holistic exposure. It also assists to avoid exploitation of these learners and interns. Also, we do not allow an internship or learnership program to be advertised prior to the department confirming that there is a functional workstation available for the intern. So from your experience, for example, it wouldn't happen in RAF because we make sure that there is a desk, a chair, a computer prior to advertising. So if the department doesn't confirm that there's a functional working station ready for the intern or learner, we don't advertise for that department. We support the mentors also as the learning and development department. So we have a briefing session with the mentors and the interns and learners to explain what exactly is their role. Yes. So as a mentor, this is what you'll be doing. This is what's expected of you. As an intern or learner, this is your role. This is what's expected of you. And also we have progress reports.
Yes,
so
I signed those.
You signed those?
I signed them.
Yeah, I know they're a bit cumbersome, but it also helps with the structure, So you need to have a structure. So the interns and learners must report on their progress, on the 6th month of the program. They need to say, look, this is what I've been doing for this period. Mentors and interns and learners must enter into an agreement, a mentorship agreement, to say this is how often we will meet for a formal session, and you get to discuss different growth opportunities and challenges, professional as well as personal.
What are some of the testimonials, the success stories that you've had from the program so far?
Yeah, so we have had so many interns come in and out of the organization. Some that have left were able to find permanent job opportunities as a result of these programs, the experience they got from the programs. Some have gotten permanent jobs within the organization. And we even have some that have now been promoted, within the organization to team lead positions. We even have one that is a manager in ICT. So
don't you have a testimonial of your own to share?
My own. I wasn't a learner or an intern.
Oh, you did.
I came in as an admin assistant.
Oh.
Then I grew up the ranks.
You definitely grew up the ranks. I thought you entered on the program.
No.
Oh, okay. No, okay. Moving on. What advice would you give to prospective interns and people who would like to do learnerships to improve their chances of being selected for these programs?
Okay. So very, very important is to read the advert properly. So what we find is when we receive the applications, you find somebody is perfect, but they just didn't read the instructions on the advert. Things like make sure you have certification, yes, but it must be 3 months, or 6 months. So read what the advert says. If there are any added advantages or extra things that you must attach, like a testimonial or motivation. In some cases, if they ask for a motivational letter, make sure you include it. Otherwise,
like a cover letter.
Or a cover letter. If there's something like that that's required, it can be used as a criteria to kick you out. So please be careful. Read the instructions carefully. Also, we encourage that the interns and learners make sure that all the documents are attached. So if there's one missing, it also goes to show that you don't follow instructions, so things like that.
So are these some of the common mistakes that people make when they are applying?
Yes, those are the most common mistakes. Not reading the instructions properly, not including everything that they said you should include. And as a tip, don't wait until the closing date to make your submission, because then you're rushed. You don't include everything.
Don't look at what you...
you don't review your application properly. The spelling errors, So do it in time. Don't wait until the closing date
to do it. So we spoke a bit about the successes. What are the chances of people actually gaining permanent employment from these programs at the RAF?
So when we enroll interns and learners, we do not create any expectation, and we emphasize that the role of the programs is to give you work readiness skills.
Yes.
We are preparing you for the job market, not for only RAF. In a situation where you are fortunate enough that there are vacancies, you are welcome to apply for positions and compete. So it's not guaranteed. However, when opportunities are available, you are welcome to apply and compete. Interns and learners on a learnership program get to enroll on an internship program.
Yes. Okay.
And then there's a flow.
Yes.
There's a pipeline to say you can move from a learnership program to an internship program. And then your years of exposure or experience increase.
Yes.
So that even when an opportunity comes out internally, you can also apply. Yes.
So how do you make sure that the process is diverse and accessible to different participants?
Okay. So within the RF, we are very diversified. We are pro-diversity. We don't discriminate against anyone based on race, gender, religion, sexual orientation, disability.
Yes.
So, for instance, we have disabled interns at the moment.
Yes.
Interns that have disabilities, one with a hearing impairment, some with visual impairment, and we accommodate them. We accommodate them how? We get assistive devices for them. So we procured assistive devices for them. The current interns that are having visual impairments, we have procured JAWS. I don't know if people know what JAWS is.
No,
okay.
I don't know what JAWS are.
Okay, JAWS is a program that helps them to be able to see and read the screen There's also screen readers.
Okay.
We bought magnifying glasses for them, so they are reasonably accommodated.
And what I've seen actually is how they support each other.
Oh, yes.
Yes, they have, formed little groups, and it's so nice to see that they understand each other's needs and they support each other. They'll walk each other back to their offices. They'll walk together for lunch.
Yes.
So it's really nice to see the camaraderie amongst each other. And I'm also proud of the people at the RAF, the employees, to see how they've adjusted themselves also to accommodate those learners. Does the Road Accident Fund have any plans to expand this program in the future?
Okay, so we review the programs annually. We check if there are any benefits that can be derived from the program that the interns and learners can derive. For instance, we add elements of extra training or extra mentorship programs, if there are any, or external providers to come in and workshop the learners or the interns on work readiness topics such as ethics, emotional intelligence, how to be a more professional employee, career growth, those kind of things. So if it makes sense for the business and also for the interns and learners, then we do review the programs and we make them better. In terms of expansion, we've been growing in terms of numbers from the beginning. I mean, we started with 20 interns, and at the time I think there were 5 learners on a learnership. We are now sitting on 200 interns nationally.
Wow. In
each region. So the program even expanded nationally. So we have interns and learners at the regional offices as well. So we've got interns and learners in Cape Town, Durban, East London, Joburg, Mainland, every region, even head office. And before we used to only have interns in claims, in the claim space. Now we have interns in different fields. So you have your legal attorneys, interns. Wow. You have your risk management interns. You have interns even in SCM, supply chain management, all these different job roles within RAF. So there's more exposure and more programs. In terms of expansion, there has been expansion and we continue to expand it. Right now, we have introduced, there has been an introduction of a graduate program that is run, though, by our OD department. So the graduate program is more focused on critical areas or critical scarce skills areas. So you have your actuarial program, you have your medical graduates, you have your ICT, cybersecurity. So it's those,
Yes, critical. Have you observed any difference in the work culture now versus then? Because now we have a new generation of, employees. We have Gen Z.
Definitely.
And their views on work culture differs from, millennials and Gen Xers. What have you noticed and how are you actually accommodating them or introducing them into this work culture?
Sure.
And have they influenced the work culture?
It's a very, very important and relevant question. So it's a challenge, to say the least. So the Gen Z, look, they're not begging for a job for some reason. Okay, so they come in and it's almost like you're doing them a favor. So they don't present the same work ethic as the previous generations. In terms of commitment, they are less committed. Well, in terms of how they communicate, so they are not very formal in their communication and how they address.
Vocal.
And they're expressive, very vocal.
Very expressive. What I like is that I feel like they know their worth.
They do.
I feel like, they are shaking things up, but I think sometimes things need to be shaken up.
Yes.
I think work culture needs to change a little bit. So I'm like, yes, but
They challenge you.
Shake things up.
They definitely
But I think there are areas where, you know what, work culture needs to start being more amiable, flexible. And I like that they are challenging the norm in that regard.
Yes.
So then what are we doing as the Road Accident Fund to keep up with current trends in order to make sure that what we're offering, you know, these learners, these participants is going to equip them, not just for now, but for the future as well?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's all about conversations, right? So with the mentors, we encourage the mentors during the mentorship sessions to deal with current trends. So current trends within their space. Okay. So, for instance, if you're in finance, you know, when there's an element of digitization or an element of AI or an element of anything that has to do with future skills, futuristic skills, we encourage the mentors to impart that knowledge and those skills to the interns, to have those conversations. So, for instance, at some point we advise the mentors to say, during the session, you could ask the intern, go and read an article or get some information for me on this and this trend.
Yeah.
You know, the future trend within this, you know, or go and read an article on the latest case that's just been passed in court for the Road Accident Fund and how was it dealt with. Or innovation. So we often ask, you know, the mentors, ask them if they can give you any innovative ideas on how to do things. You know, systems, any developmental areas that they've picked up, because they come in with a different eye. And as you said, they are younger. You know,
and they know what's
big ideas.
They know what's, you know, plus I'm learning a lot about AI through them and actually how to utilize it more better. So you definitely also learn a lot from them.
Also, so we do partner with the CETAs, as I've said, and when we have stakeholder meetings, engagements, we discuss, you know, what we're doing, what can we improve, if there's anything that we can learn from each other, exchanging of ideas to be on trend with the latest, then we do introduce what we can.
So for interested participants, how can they get hold of you if they have any inquiries about up and coming opportunities and so forth?
Okay, so the programs, as I've said, are run by the Learning and Development Department. So if somebody wants to get information, they're welcome to contact the Learning and Development Department. Also, adverts generally go out on the RAF website. We also have a jobs or careers portal on the website, so they can go in there and apply for any opportunities that are there.
Okay, perfect. So can you just tell me a little bit about some of the outreach programs that the Learning and Development Department engages in?
Okay. So within Learning and Development, we also do outreach programs such as career exhibitions. So we go out and we go to schools. If we are invited, we go and do career talks. Okay, so the nice thing with these career talks is that you open the eyes to say what else is available. When we grew up, I mean, all we knew was doctor, nurse, teacher, you know, fireman, police officer. When we go on these exhibitions, we introduce new careers, things that they may not have heard of. You know, things like cybersecurity, things like air traffic controlling is a career. You know, even things like skills development as a career, most don't know about it. They just know there's HR, you know. So we go on these career talks for high schools. And then we also invite, but not often, we sometimes invite schools to come in and bring in young girls and boys for a Take a Girl to Work Child Day. So they come in and they can get exposure to the workplace. And most important is the invitations we receive to attend career exhibitions or career expos. We were a headline sponsor for the Disability Expo at NASREC, which is a very big expo for people with disabilities. And there we managed to engage learners that have disabilities and invite them to join on our programs. At the career exhibitions, we attend as exhibitors. So as exhibitors, we get to engage and talk to the learners one-on-one, talk to them about career opportunities within the fund, and also open their eyes up to say, look, when you want to apply to university, don't apply to one institution. Try to apply to multiple.
Yes.
Then you have options.
Yes.
Also,
cast your net wide open.
yes, we also tell them about bursaries. There's a bursary pack. When you Google bursary pack for the year you're going to study, you get all the bursaries in South Africa.
Also, there's a platform for just bursaries.
Yes, all the bursaries in South Africa. So those things are not communicated for some reason at school level. So we when we go to these exhibitions, we tell them about those things. The critical scarce skills list of SA, they don't know about that. So we tell them, go to the Google, you have a phone, use your phone only for not only for social media, but for also education, research. Google critical scarce skills in South Africa. If you choose an occupation that is listed there, what are your chances of not being employed? So we have those kind of talks and discussions at these exhibitions with the learners. Yeah.
That's empowering. I want to know, are there any opportunities for people who are older that are looking to pivot in their careers?
Within the Road Excellence Fund?
Not necessarily within the fund, if they are, but let's start with what are the age requirements for our learnerships and our internships?
Okay, so our internship programs, the age limit is from 18 to 35.
To 35.
Yes, so you must be 18 to 35 years old. They are youth programs, so that is why the 18 to 35.
Okay.
For older people, you can, obviously, as I said, we have a jobs portal, so they can go on the jobs portal and look for career opportunities there, especially those that are more experienced and have more background in terms of the workplace and careers that they are in.
So Thato, we talked a lot about the internship and learnership opportunities, but I know that there's a lot more that the Learning and Development Department does at the Road Accident Fund for its employees. Can we go into that a little bit?
Yes. So Learning and Development, as I said, is based on the Skills Development Act and dealing with redress issues. So as we know, certain races, certain genders were disadvantaged or not given opportunities to get an education. So with the Learning and Development environment and the Skills Development Act, we make sure that we use the workplace as a place of learning. So we allow our employees to apply for bursaries. So for instance, if you are currently an internal auditor and you have aspirations of going into cybersecurity, we allow you to apply for a bursary, and then you can get a qualification as long as it's in line with the mandate, with the priorities of the organization. So, for instance, you cannot study hairdressing. It must be something related to the business of the RAF.
Okay.
So we allow employees to apply for bursaries. And then also employees are able to attend functional trainings. So training programs that are related to their function, them performing better in their job roles.
So upskilling.
Upskilling, yes. So we pay for trainings for the employees as long as it has to do with their function.
Okay.
And then also we allow employees to gain CPD points, so continuous professional development points, by paying for their professional memberships.
Okay.
Yes, with professional bodies. So we also pay for that. And also ensuring that internally they have enough internal training. So when it comes to MBA, as I've explained earlier, we have technical trainers that are able to teach them or train them how to process claims and evaluate merits, etc., etc.
Thank you so much, Thato, for joining us. That was such an insightful discussion about, the things that the Learning and Development Department does at the Road Accident Fund. I really value your participation today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for joining us. That brings us to the end of our discussion on the internship and learnership programs at the Road Accident Fund. These initiatives are vital in empowering young professionals with the skills and experience and opportunities needed to build successful careers. If you're interested in applying or learning more, visit our website or connect with our learning and development team during their community outreach initiatives for guidance. Your future starts here. Take that next step towards a brighter career. Thank you for tuning in. Best of luck to all the prospective applicants. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing. Goodbye from me.